when we are online, there are so many people spreading just bad things, fake things, misinformation, bad theology. Honestly, there are a lot of people just saying a lot of things that are not right. Um, but they gain a following. They gain, likes and comments, and people are engaging with them. So I was thinking, it makes no sense because some people, when you actually think critically about what they're saying, you can see that their reasoning is not good. So, eventually you see it as, this thesis that they have, this thing they're sharing has some holes in it. It doesn't make sense. Or is just plain hypocritical. A lot of times people are just saying something from one side of their mouth, and then from the other side they're saying the opposite of that, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I've been creating content for a very long time, and I've been on the internet for a very long time. But now more than ever, you don't need a degree, you don't need a lot of credentials. You can just open up your camera and say whatever you want to say, and that will generate likes. And the worst part of all, especially on TikTok, people are engaging with content that is just bad. It's displaying bad behavior, people mistreating other people, and getting a lot of hate. But the hate gives them money through the platform, so they double down on sharing that kind of content. And it's pretty. It really makes me not motivated. I don't want to participate. I don't want to be on TikTok. I sometimes log in and I'll post something and then I delete the app because I don't want to be in there. I it's really bad for my mental health. It's really bad for a lot of reasons, but I'm not on X because of the same reasons. And the only thing I have is Instagram. But honestly, I'll take breaks from it to keep myself sane. And I try to make my algorithm just show me funny things. So I'm not, just upset about things, because that's the entire point. You'll see bad things, and you see that people are thriving on bad behavior, on mistreating others, on spreading things that are not true, and not even doing their due diligence. I think I've always had a lot of responsibility, and I've always felt like I needed to be accountable for the things that I post online, because I people may follow me from different ages, families. So I want to share something that's helpful, and for people to see me in a positive light. It hasn't always been the case. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I have voiced some opinions and political views and things like that. But that's what I went to school for. Most people don't know. I actually have a bachelor degree in international affairs. I spent 4 years studying politics and economics and social studies and all of that. So whenever I express something, it's more of a concern and helping people get some real information about things, as opposed to, being a hater or being like somebody that's more divisive, because I honestly don't think that helps at all. Um, so anyway, I what I wanted to say was that there's just a lot of bad content on the internet. And then you see people who actually have good content, good ideas, things that people should be interested in. And they might not get as many likes or followers or this and that. And, I wanted to really emphasize how we shouldn't engage with bad content. I know sometimes the blood is boiling. You just want to get into that comment section and spill your guts out. But have the self control to not add more fuel to the fire. Because if people cannot make money from bad content, they're not going to make any more bad content. They are literally studying their analytics day and night to try to figure it out how they can make money. So the choice is with the consumer to not engage, not like. If you see something that's bad, just move along. Tell the algorithm that you don't want to see that anymore. You don't want to see content from that person anymore, and things like that, because we cannot keep co-signing bad behavior. We can't. So here's a quick analogy. Remember, like in high school, that you had friends that wanted to do drugs or drink alcohol or just like do bad things, right? Are you the person that does the bad things because they're your friend, although you know how much that's going to hurt your parents and disappoint them and all of that? Or do you actually think, you know what, if I go along with this bad behavior, I'm going to be co-signing it? Not only I'm saying that this is okay, but I'm partaking in it, you know? It literally means that you are signing on to whatever is out there. And that's what we need to stop doing. I honestly have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings towards a lot of things. But I've been trying to be really disciplined and just, not engaging in conflict, in fights on the internet. In a lot of times, not even sharing my opinion, because I know that it will make me feel a certain kind of way. I'm studying rhetorical analysis right now, and this is really terrible, but people do use it for evil. People are using rhetorical strategies to manipulate audiences. Okay. So when we co-sign these bad behaviors, when we engage, when we follow people that they're just saying. So, okay, another scenario. Let's say you're the one doing bad things, okay? And then now you start following someone that co-signs your bad behavior, okay? They make excuses for you. They say, but this is not that bad. I also do this and this kind of stuff. So you have to think about what you're doing. You have to use your brain. You have to question life. Where is this taking me? This bad behavior. Am I just seeking for validation from people to excuse my bad behavior? Or am I actually going to face this and face the fact that I'm not being good? I'm not acting as I should. I'm not being holy. And then address that. I just, I think it's something that not only we need to think about when we engage in content and we're validating other people's bad behavior, or we're making excuses for people in real life for their bad behavior. And also evaluate our own bad behavior. Turn that mirror to you and then look at it from the eyes of someone who, you know, is humble enough to recognize. I mean, I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of, honestly. But in the end of the day, I think it's a journey of always trying to improve, always try to become a little bit better than you were yesterday. And, it's hard, it's not easy. But as a Christian, I feel like it's my job to be a little bit better every day, at least try. And God knows I'm not perfect, but at least try. And whenever I have a negative thought or I want to gossip or things like that, that I think twice and that, God enlightens me so I can stop ahead and not follow through with whatever I was thinking. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. Check yourself, the things that you do, the people that you follow, the people you choose to engage in real life or on the internet, because it can have such a huge impact on your mindset. If you're doing something bad and you're surrounded by people who validate your bad behavior, they don't love you. They don't. They're validating your bad behavior. They want you to keep acting that way. They want to keep you there. Differently than people who don't validate your bad behavior. I'm very fortunate. My mom will tell me like it is, and I'm so thankful for that, because many times she was real with me and she said what I needed to hear. So I would stop and, correct my path. And we need that. We need people that tell us the truth, that are not going to coat things because they don't want to hurt my feelings. What's really going to hurt my feelings? When 10 years from now, I look back and I say, nobody told me that I was doing something bad. That would really hurt my feelings. It's like if you have like something on your teeth, and people don't tell you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to be like, hey, you got something, there's something there. So they just let you embarrass yourself and look a certain way. And then when you see it in the mirror and you feel embarrassed, then that's when you're like, oh my goodness, I was walking around like this. Oh no. And then you feel bad about yourself. You feel embarrassed. So lots of things to think about, but I really hope that next time you're online, that you do double check, make sure you surround yourself with good people who are out there saying good things, that are motivating, inspiring, and that align with who you truly want to be and who God calls you to be. Because in the end of the day, that's really what matters. It's not what so-and-so thinks about me. It's not, that goes away. If you move, if something happens, that goes away. That doesn't matter anymore. But if you truly care about anyone's opinion, that should be God's, and how God sees you. And, if you're not doing the right things, God will give you a chance to turn your life around, and he'll help you through it. So I know because I was there. Um, Last week I did some volunteering work, and I met two men who just got out of prison, and I shared my story with them, and I told them, um, I had a second chance at life, and it's really hard, but God gives you that opportunity. And it was such a blessing to be able to do that and hear their perspective. They were in prison for over 20 years, and I could tell in their heart they're ready to change. They're ready for something new, and so I asked to pray for them because honestly, praying is really powerful, and I'm sure they will not forget me as I will not forget them. So in the end of the day, like, that's what matters. That's really the type of stuff that you want to be doing for people, and not gossiping, not doing bad things, because it doesn't lead anywhere. So, and that's even a note for me. Like, I'm still, occasionally I slip, and I'll say something and then I regret it, and then but it's life, and I do think that it's about trying to improve a little bit every single day. Okay, so that's the video. Thank you so much for coming with me on this rant, but I just really felt like this is something, it's been on my mind for a while, and I just thought this was it. This was the time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.